Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
And I'm Jim Fuller, sitting in Peggy Burton today.
I'm glad to see you, Mr. Fuller.
It's always good to be here, you know.
Well, you're a busy man. You've got a lot of things going on in your life. You're a man of the world.
I wish.
You're out there among them.
Yeah, I'm just tickled to death that John and Peggy still consider me part of this crew, even though I'm rarely here, you know. But
you are the crew, man. You're the matter of fact, you're the president, aren't you?
I think so, yeah.
You're president. This is Mr. Jim Fuller, president of the P-Head Productions Corporation.
And that won't buy you much in this world, but
it's about like I write songs for a guy up in North Dakota, Joe Schmidt.
Yeah.
And he has been, for the last 5 years, the Country Music Male Artist of the Year.
No kidding.
In North Dakota.
Yeah.
And that's worth a Starbucks and a donut on a good day.
we have another friend that wasn't he Male Artist of the Year in Texas, Billy Keeble or something?
Billy Keeble, yeah Billy Keeble,
absolutely.
From Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Right.
And you know, Billy and I are friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he's still, let's see, I think Billy's my age.
I think so, because
73.
I would say so, because we were friends when we were kids, and
yeah,
and he was a couple of years younger than me, I think, something like that. So
Billy might be 1 year older than I am, or my age, and he's still in demand out there. You know, he plays clubs every weekend, and he has his own. There is a Texas online radio station that
Cherokee
is big. It's big in Texas, and he's one of the DJs. He has the Billy Keeble show,
right,
and does a great job. Matter of fact, he's even played some of my songs on his radio show.
Yeah, cool.
And Billy's a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I relate that Starbucks or let's make it a little more local. Fuel So Good or Celtic Cup coffee and a donut to Mr. Fuller's the financial impact that P-Head Productions has made on his life, being president of P-Head Productions.
Yeah, you know, we've actually had a lot of fun doing this.
We have.
You know, so.
We've been doing it. This is 30 years.
Yeah, nearly 30 years, I guess. Yeah,
30 years we've been doing
it. Right.
And you know, it's amazing. And talking about that, you see that helmet back there. The reason I've got that back there is Tullahoma Wildcat, and all high school football starts next week.
Next week, yes.
And there are a lot of Thursday games because, and maybe probably even some Saturday games this year, because there's not enough officials to go around.
Who would have thought we'd ever seen that day come? But it's tough to get.
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. And, you know, it's just like anything else. My son brought me a hat from the House of Blues in Chicago that says, "Be nice or leave" on the front of it.
Yeah.
And football and basketball is even worse because you're in a gym where you can hear every word, every cuss word they holler at you. On a football field, the officials really can't hear that.
I can't hear a whole lot of that again.
But
unless you catch them on the way out.
They take a bunch of abuse just like anybody that works for the general public does. You know, we're not very friendly these days. Our society's not.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, we'll do this just a little bit later, but we have a little section on Jimmy Blanks, Alderman Blanks. Dr. Blanks had his last board meeting last night at the Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Aldermen after 13 years. And he's been vice mayor for the last probably 4 to 6 years of that, I guess.
About 4, I think, yeah.
So we'll have a little thank you to Jimmy here coming up in a little bit. South Jackson Goes Country is this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
And Peggy's sick. She's not deathly ill, but this new strain of COVID is going around. Just it's just everywhere. It doesn't make any difference how many shots you've had. Nothing. You're either gonna get it or you're not gonna get it.
Yeah,
And
fortunately, people are not. There's not a lot of people dying.
No. This is about 3 days, having 3 days of a bad cold or 3 days of the flu, and that's about it.
Right.
I haven't heard of anyone passing around here because of it.
No, I haven't either.
And a lot of people have it, test positive, and really don't
have any symptoms.
Don't have anything.
Yeah.
So aren't sick. So South Jackson Goes Country is happening this weekend. There will be, for those who don't want to go, don't want to come in and take a chance, there will be a live stream of all 3 days. And all you have to do is go to the South Jackson website and give them your credit card. Tell them what day. I don't know. I think it might be $30 to watch the show. And it's a live stream, which means it's not something that will be archived that you can watch again. You can watch it while the show is actually happening. And when it's over, it's just like you're in the auditorium, it's over.
Right.
But you can invite your neighborhood, your friends, your family, as many as you want, to your own house and watch the live stream.
That's a good buy at $30.
Oh, yeah, heavens, yes.
That's a very, very entertaining show.
Yeah. So you would pay $30 per show to have your whole family come and watch South Jackson Goes Country. Three different shows, 3 different days, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. And the warm-up show, the live show, the main show starts at 7. The warm-up show, I think, starts at 6:30. And there'll be barbecue. There'll be ice cold beer. There'll be all kind of stuff going
You guys are selling beer at
I
South
think they're
Jackson
selling
now?
beer in there.
Oh, okay.
They have a license. South Jackson is like any other business. A lot of our nonprofits have been run like clubs for years, but they need to be run like a business because they're in competition with every other venue out here to get the entertainment dollar.
Right.
They're in competition with the movie theater. They're in competition with every bar in town. They're in competition with football games, basketball, anywhere that bowling, skating. That entertainment dollar. And when somebody wants to come listen to some music, they usually like an adult beverage. This is a family show. I don't know, I said that, I don't know that this will be sold during that show or not, but I'm pretty sure it will be.
Yeah.
It's not something you bring into the auditorium. You can go out to the concession stand and during the break and have you cool.
I prefer your terminology, adult beverage. That's a good
It's an adult beverage.
That's a good term. John and I were in the business of selling adult beverages
By the barrel.
At one time, big time. Yes, by the barrel, actually. And unfortunately, sometimes when you serve adult beverages to the extent that we did, the people you're serving it to don't always act like adults.
No, they don't.
Well, actually, probably 98% of them do, but the other 2% can drive you crazy.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. So remember South Jackson Goes Country. Peggy is not feeling well today. She's on her 3rd day of
she'll
the
probably
3-day.
be back by Friday.
Oh yeah. She'll be at. I don't think she'll be at practice tonight, but she'll be there tomorrow.
Is this 2 nights, Friday?
3 nights.
3 nights, Thursday.
Friday night, Saturday night,
And
and
Sunday.
Sunday afternoon.
I see.
Sunday afternoon show is at, let's see, what is it? The warm-up show is at 1:30, and the big show is at 2.
Right.
Or 2 and 2:30. I don't know. You can go online and find out, or call South Jackson, get you a ticket.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it's fun. We're going to have a big time. The cast is huge, as always. There's probably over 100 people in the cast because we do live commercials. And we have a lot of new people this year. We had Shirley Goodness on this show right here, which is a new act. Shirley Goodness and her friend Mercy.
Yeah.
They're Christian comedians, Shirley Goodness and Mercy.
Yeah. What a name.
What a name, great name.
Right.
And you know, I told her, Amanda, her name's Amanda McCain, she is one of these people, she's never been on stage. Now, she's been in front of a microphone before in church, but she's never been on stage. And I told her, I said, now I mean this with the greatest respect. You feel like a wonderfully tailored old pair of shoes. You fit right in here just as comfortable as anybody I've ever seen.
That's right.
For the first time. She is absolutely a star. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of new young people. You know, this show is like a family reunion.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't see each other but once a year during the 2 weeks of practice when everybody's together for the show. And Mary Jane comes from, I think she lives in Washington, D.C.
She comes?
No, not D.C., Washington State.
Right.
And she flies here every year and stays with Peggy to be part of South Jackson Goes Country.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. People from Georgia, people from Alabama. We just have a whole lot of new folks. Come watch the show. It's good. It's a good show. And you'll enjoy it. And you might even have an adult beverage. Huh? You gonna come, Fuller?
I may come.
Fuller might have to come to that.
Yeah.
Got an adult beverage there. Hey, I tell you what we're gonna do right now is take a break. And as we were talking about 30 years of being here, you know, the only reason we're here is because of our sponsors. And, you know, we've hung on and clawed and scratched and stayed. Have we made any money? We ain't made any money, but we sure have had fun. And
that's right.
You've allowed us to be here. Come into your home, onto your internet for 30 years, and we just want to thank you for that. There's our YouTube channel and our Facebook page where you can watch this stuff. Every show we do is online. You can watch it all night long if you want. You can watch all of last year's football season. And don't forget the Coy Sisk football show. The first Coy Sisk football fifth quarter show will be next Saturday. Our game is on Thursday, and it's home game against Shelbyville, but the show will be at its normal time on Saturday.
Coy, if you don't know, is the new high school head football coach.
And he is taking over last year's state championship Wildcat football.
Yes.
So
big
we need support for his show, which shows support for him and our team. It's not about the coach. When we started the John Ollie fifth quarter show, we started it because we had a bad football team and a new football coach. It's about Wildcat football. It's about Tullahoma. It's about being part of the dream right here in this beautiful little small town we live in. And watch these commercials and you might be able to go out and buy part of the dream right here. We'll be back in a minute.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
Macarthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at Macarthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at Macarthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back. And that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, I'm glad to have our police chief, Jason Williams, here with us today. And this is Police Pointers. And what we want to do is bring the chief in from time to time and just find out what's going on. And, you know, I heard somebody on the radio yesterday, and it reminded me, these kids are back in school, and they were talking on the radio about that school zone you used to go through at 30 miles an hour will cost you $100 today. So remember that these kids, you know, these kids are out there running around and they're on bicycles and walking, and luckily it's still, when they're going and coming, it's still daylight, and you can see them because we have a lot of roads in town. And we're working real hard, I think, with our new plan and to try to get sidewalks where they need to be, where they've got somewhere to walk other than in the street. But that I figure you might have a couple of tips about these kids and what to do and what to look for in school zones and stuff, and just what fall brings and school brings and how that adds to what you guys and girls have to deal with, and some of the things that you might change just a little bit in how you deal with stuff. Not changing the law, but changing interpretation of a few things just because there's kids involved.
Yeah, no, you make a great point. Thanks for having me back,
yeah, man.
John. And absolutely, there's so many things to take into consideration when it comes to school starting back. There's always some excitement in the air. I'm excited to see Wildcat football get up and going again, see our high school team take to the gridiron again. But, you know, like you alluded to, we do have a lot of children that walk. We do have a lot of children that ride bicycles in our community.
Right.
And definitely we encourage people to pay attention to what's going on around them, pay attention to the school zones. Because like you said, you get used to living life and school's out for the summer, and you get used to, you know, getting to work a certain way or traveling through. And I'll tell you, from my perspective, our automotive manufacturers have not done us a lot of favors with the way they manufacture vehicles this day and time, because they make them so quiet. There's all these electronics that are inside of them. There's all these things competing for our attention inside the vehicle, to the point where we're almost isolated from everything that's going on the outside of the vehicle. And so yeah, absolutely, you know, we want to make sure that we pay attention to our children. that are on the bicycles. One of the things, we're started doing last year at the agency, last school year, that we'll continue this year, is to hold some bike safety programs in the school system.
Yeah.
And talk to our kids about, making sure they're paying attention to what's going on too. Because unfortunately, some of the few incidents we have had since I have been here, where some children have had some interactions, or unfortunately got nicked by a car or hit by a car, they themselves, didn't pay attention to what was going on and darted out in front of a vehicle, which makes it even that much more important. If you're traveling down the road and you see children out in the yard, or you see a child on a bicycle, slow down. Start thinking. I talk to people all the time. Play the what if game when I'm driving. What if this person ran in front of me? What if this person, on this bicycle shot out in front of me in the road? Where could I go to avoid, hitting that individual? So it doesn't hurt to slow down, let things come to you. The more you add speed to any scenario, the greater that likelihood that an error is going to occur.
Right.
Because you're speeding up that reaction time. You're speeding up things that are going to enter or have a potential to end in disaster. So,
I was riding with Philip Scoggins, our producer, not too long ago, and he has an electric car, and I'm going, how do you know this thing's running? and I think Philip might correct me. He's right behind that door. Some of the electric cars have motor sounds that are involved with them, just to where people that are used to that. Excuse me. We recently got a different car in our household, and it's very, very quiet. Mm-hmm. And you're correct. The manufacturers, to me, have done it. I don't know whether they've done us a service or a disservice by putting Bluetooth in your car and a screen in front of you, where you don't have to you have to put down your telephone, but you don't have to not be engaged with it.
Right.
And there's no way you can pay attention to a phone call in your mind and what you're trying to say to somebody on the telephone, and pay proper attention to the road. Mm-hmm. And what's happening there.
No, yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's
probably better than having it in your hand.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, as with technology, so many things improve, and improves quality of life, gives people access to things that they normally would not have access
Sure.
to. But the flip side of that coin is it tends to, like in this situation, it isolates us even more.
Right.
From everything that's going on around us. So definitely, we can't stress enough, pay attention to our school zones out there. We started doing this some last year. We're going to continue it this year, where we get grant money from the state to do traffic enforcement. That's one of the areas of concentration for us, is hitting these school zones, and just trying to get people to slow down and become aware of what's going on. Like, hey, school's back in effect, school zone's going on. And it also helps keep our men and women that work these school zones, our crossing guards, it helps keep them safe, because
Sure.
they're right out there in the middle of the traffic most of the time. So
I wouldn't want that.
it could be definitely a high wire act from time to time, kind of avoiding things and stepping out of the way. So
Yeah, and we've. I was thinking the other night. I live out near Voca, mm-hmm. and so I go under the underpass and go up and go to Hillwood, and go through Hillwood, and I drive down through there in the middle of the road at about 20 miles an hour. And I'm thinking, one of these days the police are going to be behind me, and they're going to pull me over for driving down the middle of the road. And what I'm going to tell them is, you can't see what's on either side of that road. Mm-hmm. If another car's coming, and I used to say about my father, why is he driving so slow? Well, he's an old man. Well, I am too now. you know, and when another car is coming, that we do have roads in our town that are just barely wide enough for cars to pass, and that's one of them. Well, if there's somebody going down the side of the road, you know, it's almost, and the lights are so bright on a lot of these vehicles now, I almost come to a stop and let somebody else make the mistake. You know, particularly if there's nobody behind me.
Right.
But you know, there are situations where you need to pay real attention. That area out there, and there's a lot of areas in town where, you know, street lights are installed now at different than they were years ago. And a lot of those old streets, the street lights are a lot further apart than they are on the new streets now.
Right.
And, you know, people who are walking down the street in their neighborhood where there are no sidewalks, that's my plug for sidewalks in every neighborhood. They're walking, they don't have lights on and reflective clothing. They're walking down the street to talk to mama.
Right. No, absolutely. You make a great point. And when there's nowhere to really go, you know, because if there's a steep ditch line or whatever there, absolutely. And, you know, I am thankful that the city has made a lot of progress in our leadership in, you know, making it a focus point to get sidewalks in areas, because it's long overdue. We need the capability for our people to move around and be safe in how they move around. But still, at the end of the day, you know, as we have a responsibility as motorists on the roadway.
Yes, we do.
To take other people's safety and keep that in mind as well, because, you know, it's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about getting there safely, making sure you know, everybody arrives and leaves the exact same way, and making sure everybody's safe and nobody gets hurt. So.
And you know, it's Tullahoma is a town, and there's a lot of traffic in Tullahoma, but you can get just about anywhere in this town you want to get in 7 to 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's a very you know, there's easy ways to navigate around town.
Yes. And so don't go blowing down a street that doesn't need to be blown down, because you're a half a minute late because you didn't leave the house early enough. You know, and because you're going to be at the same stoplight I am when we get to the corner.
Well, and you just made my point for me. How many times as a motorist have, you know, you've been in a hurry and you blow past somebody or you get past somebody only to get up to the next red light and that person pull right up beside you and stop beside you. So, you know, what did you really gain in, you know, being in that hurry? You didn't gain anything.
Nothing.
So,
you put somebody at risk.
Right.
Put somebody at risk. And, you know, so watch out there. It's school time. One of the things that's this plan that we're all discussing about the 2040 plan is addressing is gathering spaces. And if you watch the high school parking lot, there's a lot of kids. That's about the only place in town they have to gather. That's not on somebody else's property, that they don't want the kids there because it's an insurance risk, like out at the mall or something. Right. So when you're around those places, pay attention, because kids are kids and they are reactive, not proactive in everything they do.
Right.
And one of them will get in the truck or their car and they'll want to be impressing somebody and stomp on it, and all of a sudden they're right in front of you. So when you're around areas like that, pay attention again, because you need to be proactive instead of reactive as you drive.
Yeah.
We all do, but that happens differently at different ages, you know.
Yes, sir.
And with different vehicles.
Yeah, you tend to take a few lumps and get those insurance bills and a few other things. It definitely tends to make an impression.
And I know you still do it. One of the most impressive things that the police department, fire department, and rescue department does is have the tableau of a wreck over at the high school, and bring these kids out there and show them what it looks like when their friends are in these vehicles. One of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And that will show a young person with person that was sitting in their class 30 minutes ago is out there all painted up and bloodied up in the front seat of a car, dead.
Yeah. No, and it doesn't take long. You might do the exact same thing and get away with it 100 times in a
100
row.
times.
But that 101st time, when it catches up with you,
Yeah.
it can have very real and significant consequences. So,
Chief Jason
yes, sir.
Williams.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my friend,
Absolutely.
for coming by,
Thank you
and
for
know that
having
you're
me.
welcome. And we'll see you again in a couple of weeks,
Yes,
a
sir.
month, whatever.
Yep.
I know you're a busy guy, but we always look forward to seeing you.
Well, once again, I'm thankful for you having me on.
You
so.
got it. We'll be back after these messages.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us now from the Isaiah 117 house, the program coordinator, Susan Johnson. Susan, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We will probably need to tell our audience a little bit about the Isaiah 117 house. You guys have been around for a while now. I was just telling Susan before we went on the air, I think they started putting this together about the time COVID hit or something like that. Yeah. And you've really come a long way, and there's some big things happening. But first of all, tell us a little bit about what you guys do at Isaiah 117 house.
So we will serve as a transitional place for children when they're removed by the Department of Children's Services. So the way that works is currently when children are removed, they go to an office, a conference room. Sometimes in Grundy County, they go to offices at the county jail while the caseworker's trying to find placement. So once our home is open, the caseworkers will bring the children there to a home. Caseworkers stay with the child, they're their supervision, but volunteers are there just to be that extra set of hands. This looks like any other home that you have. It's not like a business in any way. So children can get on the couch, they can watch TV, they can read a book, they can go outside and play, and just be in a normal environment. The caseworkers will have an office set up there, so when they make placement calls, they can do those from the office. We want that child to be a child on probably their most adult day. A lot of times when these kids leave, they leave with nothing, or they have a black trash bag or Walmart sack. And so when they leave the Isaiah house, they'll leave with a duffel bag and 2 to 3 days worth of changes of clothes. They'll leave with their school supplies, toys, blankets, whatever they need, whatever that foster family needs for that initial transition is what we're going to provide.
So you guys are going, or rather the caseworker you mentioned, is that someone who, for whatever reason, needs to actually go to that child's home and remove that child from some kind of undesirable situation there. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I guess a lot of us don't think about that, but they leave with nothing, pretty much. It's kind of hard to imagine that in the past, and that was the situation before you guys put this Isaiah house together, that a kid would be kept in an office somewhere. Did you say sometimes even at the jail? Is that?
So in Grundy County, we don't have a Department of Children's Service office. So sometimes the caseworkers will take them to offices at the county jail because they're trying to place them as quickly as possible.
So have you guys actually built this home, bought this home? Or?
Oh, we built this home. So we've been under construction. Let's see, I think we broke ground in October. And so we've been about a 2-year journey here, getting this house completed. COVID being a pandemic. And also we asked for a lot of volunteers, to save on cost. And so it's been a process to get the house finished, but it is absolutely beautiful. I think these kids they'll love it.
It had to cost a lot of money to make this happen. I'm impressed that you were able to raise those kinds of funds. So what sort of things did you do?
So we, honestly, our founder started out hoping to build this house for $75,000. That was pre-COVID, and so that has not happened. The house is also bigger than the initial houses that they started building. So this house, the downstairs is about 2,000 square feet, and upstairs is about 800 to 900, and that's what we call our giving room. That's where all these supplies are. That's where the volunteers will be packing these bags for these kids. So we are around, I've not totaled up final cost, but we're probably around $160, which is pretty amazing for right now, for the cost of building. So donations our communities have truly blessed us with donations of labor or money or materials. It's just been incredible.
Typically, how long is a child there before they're placed?
So that varies. Pre-COVID, the longest stay for our counties was 6 days. I don't know what's happened since COVID. I know that there's not enough foster homes, but sometimes kids are now sitting in offices unlimited. It's just hard to find placements. So they could be there hours, and they could be there days.
Right. To complicate the matter, there's also an issue, as you just mentioned, with foster parents in this area. Is that a fair statement?
So there's a shortage everywhere of foster families, especially for teens. A lot of people are afraid of teens. So a lot of our teens end up in group homes or facilities or places like that, sometimes Chevyville or Memphis. So we need foster families. We need people to say yes.
What motivated you to really start this? You obviously observed this critical situation. Were you involved in the system somewhere or another?
Well, I had a job previously where we worked on to reduce chronic absenteeism, and so I was going into homes and trying to help families alleviate stress, taking food into the homes, Christmas presents, picking kids up, trying to figure out why they were not coming to school or why they were late, and trying to help fix that problem. And so I happened to hear our founder one day speaking, and I'll be honest with you, I'd worked with children for about 15 years and did not know that's what happened on removal day. And so from there, it just kind of went there. I called our founder and said, how do we get one of these for our county? And so the process kind of began, and the community started rallying around me and supporting this mission.
It's just phenomenal how far you've come with this, and to make this happen. And I'm impressed that you saw the need, because it had obviously been there for a while.
It had.
And been able to make that dream become a reality here. I bet this is something that you guys are constantly having to raise money to support. Is that a fair statement?
So it is true. We had a Lemonade Stand Challenge in July, and that's every year. And we do a golf tournament, which is coming up September the 24th at Willowbrook Golf Course. That's another big fundraiser for us. And then we alternate every other year doing a fundraiser dinner. So that's you're trying to raise funds. And then we have groups that want to do things to raise money for us, which is awesome. And our community, we have donation houses. They're cardboard houses that are out. Citizens Tri-County Bank here in Tullahoma has one. And so we supply a flyer that tells what our needs are that month. And so the community just continues to support and provide for these kids.
You I believe, have a big day coming up tomorrow.
We do. So tomorrow, August 10th at 2 p.m., we will actually be cutting the ribbon on our home. preparing to open, so we're so excited. We would love for the community to come. You don't have to have an invitation. So Christ Church in Monteagle, the big blue church, donated our land, and so that's where everybody's going to be parking, and we have a shuttle running down to the house, so there won't be any parking at the house. We want to be nice and open so people can free, roam. And then once we cut the ribbon, everybody can go in and tour the house and see what it looks like.
Okay. It's just phenomenal that you guys have come this far. 2,800 square foot of home. How many kids do you think you'll service in the course of a year?
I truly have no idea. Sometimes some homes have been at 100 kids, and sometimes it could be more. It just depends. Seems like DCS has constantly, lately, been very busy on removals. So.
I see.
And we have on our house, too, a visitation space. So not only can we have kids in our house, but there's a visitation space that DCS can use to have visits with parents maybe getting ready to get their kids back. And we can also use that for kids being removed. So if the house is full, they can also have that as a removal space. So we could have kids there and kids in the house as well.
Okay. If someone wanted to help you financially, how do they go about doing that?
So they can go to Isaiah117house.com and click on houses, and you can find us, Coffee, Franklin, and Grundy. And my phone number and everything's there. Or if you do have Facebook, Isaiah 117 House, Coffee, Franklin, and Grundy. My phone number's there. They can message us and get involved. And we'd love to have them, even if somebody wants to come and volunteer and just be a part. We're always looking for volunteers.
You don't just need money, you need help too.
We do. We need volunteers, so that would be great.
Okay. All right, grand opening tomorrow. It's been a long journey, and I know you're tickled to death to be at this point. So,
we are. We're ready to serve the kids.
Susan, congratulations. This is just a great thing you've done there, and an unbelievable success at it. So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
All right, folks, we'll be right back in just a moment.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us now from the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director Hope Nunley, and membership, what you just told me this?
Membership Director.
Membership Director Tisha Fritz. Did I get your name right?
You did.
Okay, good, good. I think the last time you were here, Tisha, I asked your name and then I forgot it before we went on. But now I remember. You guys are here because you're always doing exciting stuff at the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce, helping out businesses and that sort of thing, and making life better for you if you happen to be in business in the city of Tullahoma. But you got another big event coming up I think you want to talk about today. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have several great events coming up, but we are here to talk about one in particular, and that is the Taste of Tullahoma and Business Expo. We are so excited to bring this event back after a 2-year hiatus, and so and it is a community favorite event. People love this event, and we're so excited to bring it back. And so if you remember the Taste of Tullahoma from years past, of course, the different restaurants providing samples. And we've also integrated a Business Expo, and so it's also a great way to showcase your business. And so we actually have several businesses that have already signed up to take advantage of this opportunity. So we're really excited.
The Business Expo is part of the Taste of Tullahoma?
Yes. So,
okay.
And we have a really unique way of guaranteeing that people don't just come and get their samples and not interact with the businesses. We've created a passport, and so you get your passport marked once you visit each booth, and then you're entered into the drawing for the prizes.
Oh, okay. Now, but you still have the food kind of thing. That's still
absolutely.
a big part. Tell us how that works.
Well, so what we do is we reach out to the restaurants, we let them know about the event, and then just encourage them to bring samples, and we kind of guesstimate on the number of people attending, and tell them that they'll need that many samples, and people really enjoy it. And it's not just food, there's also some beverages on site as well.
Right, cool. Okay, and so there's a ticket, is that correct?
There is a ticket.
Okay, and you pay for that ticket up front, correct?
You do. Everyone in the community is invited. Tickets are $15 per person, and children 12 and under are actually free. So we're welcoming the youngest members of our community to come out and interact with the businesses and taste Tullahoma and see what they have to offer.
And $15 for that ticket, I wasn't there the last year, but I've been to that many times. That's really a heck of a deal.
It is.
It really is. Yep. And we haven't adjusted that at all over the years, and so just sticking with that. But the it's a family-friendly event. You have the opportunity to maybe sample some restaurants that may be new to the area and you haven't gotten a chance to visit yet, or a longtime favorite. And then, of course, we're really trying to encourage lots of activities for the kids. And so, again, just making it a really family-friendly event.
Oh, sounds like fun. The Business Expo part of it, how does that work?
Well, just like we encourage our restaurants to attend and plan to interact with so many people, we also encourage the business community. Maybe you come and you set up a booth because everybody gets the same booth. We provide all of that. And you bring some swag that you want to distribute that really represents your business well, or collect their information so that you can communicate with them following the event. And so it's just a great opportunity to connect with the community at this event, whether you're a business or a restaurant.
So it gives you an opportunity to tell everybody about what you do and maybe show them some of the features of your business. All right, that's fun too. You can learn a lot of things and get some great food all at the same place for an amazing ticket price of only $15. That's right. That's coming up when?
Thursday, September 8th. From 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
No, okay. You guys have, seemed like something else was going on that day. The city of Tullahoma was, what was that? They were, the armed forces, had something to do with the armed forces that I think they're going to be here that day as well.
You would be correct. So this actually...
What is that called since I'm falling
The Great American Defense Community. So Tullahoma was awarded a Great American Defense Community, very exciting for our community. And so there will be a group of individuals here, and the Taste of Tullahoma is part of their agenda. And so there's going to be some special presentations, and it's going to... We're kind of equating this to American Idol when they do the hometown visit. There's going to be a video made, and so you definitely want to be in attendance at the event because it's going to be really cool and really special.
Oh, okay.
We'll be showcasing Tullahoma to the entire world.
Yeah, exactly. All right. That sounds really, really fun. And you might get a chance to be on a video that people will see everywhere else. Also, another thing I noticed you guys are doing coming up later in the year, and is it the 40 under 40 program? Tell us a little bit about that.
We have some really exciting plans to once again celebrate the young professionals in our community. Last year we had a really successful 40 under 40 event where we highlighted and celebrated 40 people that are aged 40 and under. We get that question a lot. But we are again taking nominations for that event. It's going to take place on November 3rd. And so, yeah, we're really excited. But we'll certainly be back to talk about that event some more a little closer to time.
Because you guys are still planning that right now.
Yeah, we are, but we're happy to accept nominations. They can visit our website at tullahoma.org, where they can find an entire list of upcoming events. We love to make sure that we've got all those posted. So if you're following along with us, that's the best place to find it.
You guys probably really enjoy your jobs, don't you? Because you sit around all the time thinking, what can we do that's fun can we do all the time? You know, what's an event we can do?
I have to say that in the interview process, I promised her that no 2 days would ever be the same. And she continually reminds me that I have upheld my end of the deal. And so, but, you know, we have some great ambassadors, some fantastic board members. Miss Nancy Fuller, going to have to give her a shout out because she's both a board member and an ambassador. And
she's addicted to it. She's into that all the time.
Well, we just appreciate every single person because those volunteers help us. We are a small team of 3 people. Mm-hmm. And to put on these huge community events, we could not do it without our committees, our board, our ambassadors, and just overall community volunteers. And so we just have to say thank you to each and every one of them for everything that they do because, like I said, it is a community effort for everything.
You mentioned 3 people. They only have 3 people on staff.
That's right.
Over there at the chamber. And sometimes I'm amazed at what they will take on. They'll take on anything and seem to always make it happen. So.
Yes, you know, we do. We enjoy it, and we're so glad that we're creating an environment that Nancy's addicted to, and so
yeah, she is really.
That you know, it is a lot of fun, and so we encourage anybody if you've been a member for a while and maybe you need a refresher on your benefits. Or you're interested in joining the chamber, Tisha is our membership director. She's happy to answer any questions that you have. Come see us, visit our website, send us an email. We are here to serve and just invite people to come be a part of everything that we're creating.
Okay, great.
And there are plenty of opportunities to volunteer. So if you're a person in the community who is like-minded and active and interested in the events that we host, we welcome to stop by and express your interest.
Yeah, boy, you said it there, and being married to someone who's involved in the Chamber of Commerce, there are numerous opportunities to get involved and do volunteer work. One last thing, the tickets to Taste of Tullahoma, where do they get those?
They can actually get them at the door.
And
so, yeah, just come and join us. We do still have some booth space available, and so if you're a business that's interested, if you're a restaurant that's interested, give us a call. Come see us. Visit our website. That's the message for everything. And also, if you're not following us on social media, please do give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram, and we also promote events on those platforms as well.
Okay, girls, it's always wonderful to have you here. And I have to say, you know, if you're watching this on tape, it's about 9:30 in the morning. They are so enthusiastic and excited about this. I'm dragging them a little bit, not quite into it yet. They probably got up at 3 o'clock this morning. That's why they're so excited already. But now, actually, they're like that all the time. Thank you so much for coming out. We're very fortunate to have you girls doing this work for the Chamber of Commerce. We'll be right back, folks, right after these messages.
I got a tour and I saw all the things and I was so excited about them. Then she took me to the movie theater and it had red chairs. This is a done deal and I like it.
We have so many activities here that you just can't keep up with them all. We have exercise, we have coloring, we have crafts.
It's charming, it's attractive, it's very comfortable. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
As we told you earlier, Alderman Jimmy Blanks, who has been working with the Board of Mayor and Alderman for 13 years, last night was his last meeting. And I sent Andrew over, and there was a reception over there. And what we'll do right now is show that video, and Jimmy and I'll do a little talking over that. And then Mr. Blanks, Dr. Blanks, was asked to go to the podium and speak to the public, which he did, and we will give that speech to you.
She gets it first. Yes, we appreciate all your support over the years. We always love your, and shop local, and shop local.
Appreciate
At this time, we have a very special proclamation that I'd like to make. And at this time, I'd like to ask Mayor Pro Tem, Alderman Blanks, if you would to join me in front of the desk for a little proclamation. Sad occasion, but a happy occasion. And to present to James H. Blanks in recognition for your dedicated service for Mayor Pro Tem 2019 to 2022. And Alderman from 2009 to 2019. All I can say is that's a long time. Mayor Pro Tem Blanks, congratulations on your service. Thank you for your service to our city.
Thank you, Mayor. Citizens of Tullahoma, staff, I stand before you tonight a happy man. I started serving on this board 13 years ago. 14 years ago, I ran for alderman and was beat by Coach Mathis by 151 votes. Mike Stanton led the pack. During that time, I've served with many distinguished alder people: Greg Sandlin, James Eads, Mike Stanton, Coach Mathis, Mike Norris. Troy Bisbee was my first mayor. Nancy Eads replaced James Eads when he passed. Sandy Lindeman, Renee Keene, Jackie Duncan, Ray Noes, Robin Dunn, Rupa Blackwell, Cernovia McGee, Daniel Berry, and Jenna Amacher. It's been a pleasure to serve with all these people over the years. I think we've had ups and downs. I think we've made a lot of progress in this town. There are some things that got done, and it was just not me, it was these people that I've spoken about. I think I even forgot to put Lane Curley's name in there. Lane, I'm sorry. Served under Administrator Jody Balls and also served with Jennifer Moody as administrator. We couldn't get these things done without these people. I have a city recorder, Rosemary. Thank you for, keeping us in line over the years, making sure the voting machines were done properly. But like I said, there's a lot of people that I've served with, and it was a pleasure. I will miss this a little bit. I would like to thank my wife and my son for allowing me to stay away from home. I mean, to sit up here, and I'm speaking to you guys mostly, you know what it's like to serve. You have a heart to serve, and it is not easy. You will get ridicule. You will get adulation, but the ridicule cuts sometimes. But we have to have thick skin because we want to serve the people of Tullahoma. So that's what I always would keep in mind when you would get hecklers or people dogging you. Like I told Coach Carden one time, he was standing right here giving us the devil. I said, if we're doing such a bad job, why don't you run? Go get your little petition and get your 25 name. He said, well, I voted for you. I said, I appreciate that. I said, why don't you run? He said, no, I don't want to do that. And then he started laughing. So, it's real easy to sit out here but it's harder to sit up there. But we have to have people that'll run, and people that will have a little bit of thick skin and have the people of Tullahoma's, the people of Tullahoma who you represent. So keep that in mind. We'll have some new people on the board here in a couple of weeks. So, my word of advice is think before you speak. And it's a lot easier to sit back here, an armchair alderman or mayor or pro tem or whatever, than it is to sit up there and try to help lead the city. So, sometimes it's easier to be an armchair alderman than to be an actual alderman. But I appreciate my time with the board that's up here right now. Y'all been a pleasure. There's been ups and downs, but we've suffered through it. We lived through COVID. We lived through that mess. We were doing stuff online. It was nuts. And here we are. We survived it, and we've made progress. So I appreciate the time, Mayor, and the citizens of Tullahoma. Thanks for letting me serve you. Thank you.
What does caring look like? This is what caring looks like.
This is setting an example for others.
This is rising to the challenge.
This is doing what works.
This is doing my part.
This is doing your part.
Each of us individually.
Acting as one. Keeping your distance, no matter how awkward it may seem.
This is wearing a mask.
Over your nose and mouth.
Like we are. Keeping our distance.
Each wearing masks.
Not under your chin.
Not above your head. Not in your hand.
But over your nose and mouth.
This is listening to the expert. If you'll just
wear one of these.
Caring makes community.
And this is what caring looks like.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat. Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
I feel like we're safe at Parkview.
There's somebody on staff all the time. So if you need help, help is there.
We are surrounded with people that are looking after us and taking care of us.
The staff is wonderful and always available. We feel so safe and secure here.
I feel safe at Parkview all the time.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I'm here with my Tullahoma historian and friend, Mr. Councilman Jackie Duncan, ex-alderman for the city of Tullahoma and a member of the Coffee County Commission.
Amen, brother.
Commissioner
Yes, sir.
Duncan.
Thank you.
And what are we talking about today, Jackie?
Oh, just had an election too, and I want to thank everybody for who voted for me too. Just for. And everybody that helped in any kind of way, thought about me, prayed for me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We got great people here in Tullahoma and Coffee County, period, so I'm just
now,
tickled.
I want you to explain this. I'm glad you brought this up. We need to understand, because maybe a lot of people don't. Jackie Duncan lives in Tullahoma. He's part of the county commission, not because he's in the county, lives in the county part of the county. He lives in the city part of the county, which is part of the county.
Amen.
So we have, how many seats does the city of Tullahoma have on the county commission?
Well, we had 7 before, but we downsized.
They redistricted.
Redistricted, yeah, and so now we have, I think, 8 districts? So there's 2 per district. We had 19 districts, so it gets a little bit confusing there for a moment, but we had 19 districts, so now I'm sorry, 21 districts. I was District 19.
Right.
We had 21, but now we only have 8
districts.
8, yeah, and with 2 per district. So
so the council has shrunk greatly.
Yes, it's shrunk. So anyway, we proudly serving the county, and it's a blessing to be able to help. I never had a desire to get into politics, period. And I almost said I would never do it. I almost would, but never say never, So anyway, but I told you once before that some folks talked me into it. That wanted me to represent them, and I appreciated that they had that confidence in me, and never had run for office before or anything. I've been in a lot of organizations over my life, and quite a few of them in this, right here in almost in government maybe, but not at the time. Had never been into an office, political office, and had no desire for it. But I got talked into filling a seat in the county commission seat. And when a friend of mine died that was in the county, and it was holding that position, and I put my name in the hat and got selected. And then I got elected next time, and so I've been in it, for several years now, just representing people. But it's a blessing and an honor. And then I got into representing Tullahoma on the City Board of Mayor and Aldermen for 2 terms while I was serving as county commissioner. And I thought, well, this is not as bad. I guess what I was hoping not to get involved in was a lot of posturing. A lot of people come in and they've got their own agenda, and you start posturing, and then a 10-minute meeting goes into an hour and a half meeting because everybody's got something to say that probably didn't need to be said in the first place. But I probably shouldn't say a lot of this stuff, but anyway, it's the way it works.
And it's happening right now.
That's true.
In Tullahoma.
That's true.
But there's a thing, see, Jackie, you can do what you do without being in politics.
I agree.
You're in public service.
Oh, I agree.
There's 2 ways a seat can be, somebody can sit in a seat. You can sit in it as a politician, or you can sit in it as a public servant.
Public servant. That's what I am, as a servant.
That's all we need in local and county government.
I am not a politician. I am a servant, and a servant of the people. And I pray every day that God will allow me to do that. That He'll see that people, when they look at me, will see His works in me, and see Him in me rather than see me. I'm imperfect. We're all imperfect. We're just human. Yeah. But we can bless one another, just love one another, and that's what it's all about. So that's all that matters. So I'm tickled. But I want to thank everybody for voting for me and trusting me to be the servant that I've been allowed to be.
Okay.
And it's truly a blessing, and it doesn't pay. A lot of stuff don't pay well down here, but it pays better. It pays better up there. So that's good.
Well,
that's all
now,
that matters.
Jackie, let's get back. You say you had 21 districts.
Yes.
In the county.
In the county.
With 2 people in each district.
No, with 1 before, but now we've done.
So now you had 21 county commissioners.
Right.
Now you have 8 districts with 2.
With 2.
So you have 16.
Right.
So you've downsized the county by 5.
That's right. Hopefully we've saved the county money and can run more efficiently. Hopefully that was the plan. Only thing that bothered me, we voted on this to do it, and the only thing that bothered me about that was that somebody mentioned somebody in authority, and it was an office holder, well, not a county commission office, but one of the offices in the county government. Somebody before had mentioned that we had tried this once before, years ago. And I wanted to know, I asked a question to, what happened before? Why did we leave that approach and come to this one, And I never got an answer, so I don't know. Hopefully everything will work out better, I think it will. That's the whole idea of it, is to be more efficient, I think, and to...
Well, what we've got, seems like to me what we have to do, Jackie, is with 21 districts, you had small pockets of representation.
Yeah.
So you're fighting for your neighborhood, or your how many acres of ground in the county that you're responsible for. Whereas when you take and turn that into 8 districts with 2 people in the district, then you're fighting not only for yourself, but you're fighting for your neighbor.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we all aren't doing right now, is everybody has so individualized this that it's me. I'm not concerned about anybody but me.
It's a shame.
And I hopefully, by doing this way and have bigger sections that you represent, that everybody will be represented properly.
Hope so.
No matter who you are.
Yeah.
No matter where you live.
That's true.
Tullahoma, Manchester, or in the county.
That's true.
You'll have proper representation. Because that's what we send them up there for.
Amen.
To represent us.
Yes, sir.
Not to represent themselves.
That's right. That's right.
Us.
That's right. That's right.
No agendas.
Oh, I agree. No agendas. No agendas, and it's a shame that a lot of people do have agendas, and I'm sure everybody got an agenda for life and for your own life and all this, and that's good. But it's I won't touch that one too much, but it's, but that's it. I don't have a personal agenda for this job. I just want to be the servant, and politics it means nothing to me. I think we're all just servants, and that's what it's all about. And I think we're getting very politicized. And I'll leave that alone.
Well, I just handed Jackie something a minute ago that I was going to read earlier, but I didn't. And
it's in the other room.
And it pretty much relates right here. And it's an idea that a friend of mine and he had, and I helped him with it. Randy Howard, who's a music guy and a comedian, and passed away years ago. And the idea is it's all in how you handle the hands you hold. And when you're elected, you're taking the hands of everybody that elected you.
I agree.
And you're opening your hands to them, and they put their hopes and dreams and wishes in your hands. And so it's all in how you handle not your hopes and dreams and wishes, but the hopes and dreams and wishes of the people who put you in the position to help them.
I agree.
So
to an extent, that's what
public service.
That's it. That's what public service is all about. If I can help you reach your goal in life, just in life, period. If I can help anybody be a better person, then I'll be a better person as a result of it.
Sure.
So it's all contagious, and the better you do, the better you become as a result of it. There's no doubt in my mind. I've always thought that. And
what do you think about your new county mayor?
Oh, I think he's a good guy. He's has great credentials, that's for sure.
Well, he has the skill. We'll see what he does.
We've worked with him, off and on for a long time.
Yeah, state rep.
Yeah, state representative, and I've been down there and seen him in Nashville, on occasions when I was with the city and with the county as well. And so,
I think he'll do a good job.
I think he'll do a good job. I really do. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, but I was going to say something today about we talked before about the the Elk River District Association the last time we talked. And that association, I told you, my church has been a part of that almost since its inception, but actually I don't see it. We weren't one of the founding churches, I don't think. But I'm trying to get Mount Zion Baptist Church history, which is, we're on the register for historical register, and our church has been here since 1881, I believe. This association, I told you before, I showed you the picture last time. The association has been in existence for since 1870. And actually, the officially 1870, but actually 1867, I think, was when it was it was laid out and everything. So that's really the date we go by, when it was the first inception of it. And we're celebrating this year 155 years. So that is a blessing right there. And
that's a bunch.
That's a bunch. And I remember as a child, God, that's been a long time ago, as a child, we would have the annual conference. It would go from church to church. And Tullahoma would have it maybe one year, McMinnville one year maybe, and send representatives, representing your church wherever it was being held, Winchester or Cowan or Fayetteville, wherever. But anyway, it's called the Elk River District Association because these churches are in the Elk River District. Well, anyway, one of our good friends wrote a book some time back. Actually, all he didn't so much as write a book to be a writer. He recorded history. He's a historian as well. And he's a good friend of yours and mine, Jody Boss. Used to
Really?
Was the city manager, and here in Tullahoma, was city manager just a few years ago. And he wrote this book. It's called Theodore Charnich of the 13th U.S. Colored Infantry. And that's the book right there. And Jody wrote this book, or just recorded. He's a great historian. He recorded the information and was telling about how this is his uncle, probably great-greater. I don't know how many greats in there, but anyway, it started out, it says the Elk River Bridge at Ester Springs, and Jody did a presentation at the one of the lunch and learn sessions here in town, and at the D.W. Wilson Center, and they have some great lunch and learn sessions down there, and I've been to many of them. And but it says in the summer of 1863, the United States began recruiting Tennessee African Americans to serve as infantry as they were trained here. So the 1st Regiment formed were the 12th and 13th United States Colored Troops, respectively under the command of Colonel Charles R. Thompson and Lieutenant Colonel Theodore Charnich, and that's Jody's uncle. Now, this all happened back then, and they formed these troops over in Ester Springs. And today, there is a monument in Washington, D.C. of the U.S. Colored Troops. And so, I was saying that to say that I'm connecting all this Elk River stuff, like with the association I was telling you about. Well, I also mentioned at one time about meeting some people, a lady in Nashville at a luncheon for young girls. And I was dating a lady in Nashville at the time, and she took me I was following her, went to this meeting, to this luncheon, yeah. And luncheon at one of the hotels down there. It was a nice setup, and so I'm walking around wandering, and saw people set up had book signings going on there. And so I went out and saw one gentleman that had a book of the old Jefferson Street area. Had a nice book with all the old, how it used to look years ago when I was a kid coming up, and I knew a lot of that stuff, I'd seen it before. Well, anyway, he had it in a book, had it all recorded, so I thought, well, this is good. I'm gonna buy one of these books. And so went on to the next table over there, and the lady was there, and she was, I just looked at her book. It wasn't anything I was really, really interested in. It was more like a children's book. And so the more I looked at it, and I saw her name, and she had Duncan in her name, as her maiden name. And so I inquired about that, and I told her where I was from, Tullahoma, and she said, well, my family used to live in Tullahoma area, and this was back during slavery, I think, at the end of slavery. And and I found out later on that they had come down here and visited my grandfather, and found out we were related. And so, and her story was that her family left this area right after slavery, and they went part of that Great Migration I was telling you about.
Right.
This was before the Great Migration was the Great Migration, I think, because Great Migration lists like from 1910 to 1970, but this was in the 1800s. So they might have started it. So anyway, they left this area and went to the other side of Nashville. She said her family followed some colored troops. And this, I think, can be a part of this. I'm researching, trying to put things together. And it's kind of hard sometimes when you don't have have continuity, but I'm piecing enough stuff together to get some continuity out of it, and hopefully I'll find some other things in between here, to really make a good connection. But in the meantime, they left this area and went to the other side of Nashville, followed the troops out to the other side of Nashville, and they got there, and then her family dropped off, I think, right along the way up around Humphreys, up in Humphreys County. And anyway, that's where we go now to have the reunions, where we have a reunion, family reunion. So, and I'm thinking, you know, I said there a lot of other folks went on to further on and went to Kansas. So we've got a great representation from Kansas back from the 1800s. And so I'm just, like I said, I'm thrilled to be able to find things that's piecing this together, and I'm trying to get some history laid out, some actual facts for the people, to my generation that follows me, my family that follows me, and it's kind of it's a nip and tuck thing, hard to do.
Well, I'm gonna ask you something.
Ask me something.
I'm looking forward to the day that you find a Dunkin' that has something to do with Dunkin' Donuts. Huh?
Oh no, that'd be a good one.
Well, you know,
I think they spelled it a little bit different. But now
the spelling and names changed for.
I agree.
I
agree. I found
what
some
is that? The names are changed to protect
the
the innocent.
Yeah, I remember that. Sergeant Friday.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, we're getting ready. We've just about used up this whole rest of this show. I appreciate you coming and being with us. You know, I've been trying to capture this guy for about 20 years, and he's always been too busy.
Elusive.
Got stuff elusive, slick. He had the great migration. He was involved in it every time I was hunting for him. He migrating from somewhere to somewhere else. But
that's like you got to stay on the move.
Got him captured now. He's slowed down. He's gotten slow enough I can catch up to him. But Jackie Duncan, we want to thank you very much for all the years of service that you've given to our county and our community. And I want to shake your hand and say one thing to you.
What's that?
Go Wildcats.
Amen. All right, go Wildcats. Yes.
Folks, it's about time for us to get out of here. Thanks for being with us today. And remember, go see our sponsors, spend a little money with them, because without them, we won't be here.
That's right.
We'll see you next time.